And welcome, everybody, to another Mark Bishop show. You know, the lack of personal finance education at home and in schools has created new generations struggling with money. Nearly 3/4 of millennials report living paycheck to paycheck, while their financial literacy, the rate clocks in at less than 50%. And that rate is less than 40% for Gen Z. They report struggling most with basic budgeting, financial planning, and saving for unexpected expenses. Jessica Patel is my special guest for this episode, and she's head of learning resources for the Singleton Foundation for Financial Literacy and Entrepreneurship. Hi, Jessica, and welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
You know, it seems that the lack of personal finance education at home and in schools has created new generations, Jessica, struggling with money.
Yeah, that's very true. I think it's the fact that there aren't enough resources that people can really connect with that help to teach them. And so they're not necessarily given it in schools anymore and given it places where they can easily access it. So that it's also easily learnable for them.
Well, we're going to be talking about a whole new thing that's come up that's going to help called Groove. But before then, I guess company executives, where do they fit into this? They need to pay attention, right? There's a lot of money going out the door. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, so when you think about corporations and executives, they offer all these different special things through their HR departments. And they, a lot of times now, they're trying to do what they can. They'll offer more mental health. They offer support when they need it. But the financial literacy and the financial part of that is really lacking. And so part of why we created Groove was to bring about an offering for people that was more than just checking that box. It talks to people and really gives employers and corporations a place to say, hey, we really care about you and we really are thinking about this. And we know that from a financial standpoint, if you're financially stressed and unwell, it's going to affect you negatively here in the workplace. And we want to do our best to make sure that you're financially and emotionally stable and you're making the right money choices for yourself.
Well, the companies definitely would be better off. 42% of people who are financially stressed are 11 times more likely to have sleepless nights, 10 times more likely to not finish daily tasks at work, and 9 times more likely to have troubled relationships with their co-workers. Terrific. That's all I need in my company. And all of that chips away, at the company's bottom lines. Guess what? $500 billion a year. I don't know who does these studies, but this is amazing. That's a lot of loot, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot. And when people, they don't think about it, right? People think that, I'm dealing with stuff at home. It stays at home. It never stays at home. It definitely comes into your office space. It definitely comes into wherever your place of business is and where you're working. And it negatively affects the people around you, as you stated, as well as yourself. And it makes you a less efficient worker. And it can also create a lot of physical damage upon yourself. When you're that stressed, you have a tendency to get more physically ill and you have to take more time off of work. These are all things that people often overlook when they're thinking about their finances.
So what are the biggest financial hurdles that young people are facing today, to your understanding?
Well, it's a bunch of different things, right? There's a lack of knowledge. There's a lack of resources. There's inflation. There's just, the general, there's student debt, there's credit card debt. It's all the same things that have faced people for generations at a time. But things are more expensive now. And it's just a matter of navigating what's affordable and what's not, and knowing what you're capable of doing and going out there and understanding and learning it and not being afraid to learn the things that you don't know.
Jessica, you're head of the Learning Resources Division for the Singleton Foundation for Financial Literacy and Entrepreneurship, right? And can you just share a little about Singleton and about what you do?
Sure. So the Singleton Foundation, they set out this goal when they saw some of the numbers that you're reading and that are out there. They're like, we have to do something. We have to make this change. But how do we do it? And how do we do it differently than other people? And after a lot of research and work around, we figured out that the way to engage people with financial literacy is through entertainment, is through things that are engaging and through things that aren't done the same way that they have been done for ages. And so we created, through the Singleton Foundation for Financial Literacy and Entrepreneurship, we created video games and videos, and we created Groove and Slingshot, and all of these things help people build their financial confidence and their learnings in a new and fun way, and actually engage them in the concepts that set you up for financial success.
Not a bad concept at all. So let's talk about, well, there is one more I want to touch on. I know we talked about the figures the company should take notice and not put their nose up to it, because I have a lot of business listeners to this show. C-suite should care. Practical ways to help staff adjust their outlook. What do you suggest?
Well, again, I think that idea of having something like Groove there, it's so much better than the scenarios that I even face in the corporate world of, like, there's some guy who comes in and is like, this is what a 401k is, have a nice day, right? Somebody who's there in a place where if you feel intimidated, you don't want to ask in a room full of new employees, I don't know what a 401k is, right? When somebody's teaching you about it. But to have something like Groove where you can go and you can look and be like, hey, what's a 401k? Oh, this is important to me. Well, why do I even need it? And how much should I contribute, right? So that you don't feel less than asking these questions in a large group or to somebody who just assumes that you know it. It gives them a safe space to learn and a safe space to set goals that are important to them. So they feel like they're more seen. And so from a corporate environment, you're not just giving somebody something. It's like, okay, have a good day. It's, we see you, we see that this is emotionally taxing on you, and we want to make you better, not just from you read this book and you know what a mortgage is, but here's how to do that thing. And here's how to set a new money habit to save for your down payment so that you can set a goal to buy an apartment in the next 2 years. So it's really the entire throughway of that money line there, from education to habits to goals, getting them on their right footing in a path of success for the future.
Oh, marvelous. I mean, what a clever concept. It really is. I mean, there are so many people that do want to ask, want to be heard. You know what I mean? So 4 times you've mentioned it. My listeners are saying, well, come on, what is Groove? She's got me going. How could it, how can it break the cycle? What is Groove?
So it's different from, it's a financial habit building and learning app that helps individuals think about money in a different way, right? It's very different from anything that's out there because it's not just learning and it's not just budgeting. It's the whole kit and caboodle. And it really, and every piece of it deals with your emotional state and behaviors as well. So if you have a specific money personality and you're likely to be a big spender or you're likely to be a tightwad in certain things, we can guide you through that and we can help you set goals and help you understand that so that you can rewrite your money script and better understand your money habits to set better money habits for yourself that can guide you through that.
Mm-hmm. All right, give me an example. We've got time. Give me an example. I waddle on in and, g'day, I start today. How are ya? What happens? What would you do? How would you sit me down and what is Groove to me?
Yeah, so if you go in and you log in and once you understand your money personality, one of the first things we ask you is, are you feeling stressed about your finances? And if you are feeling stressed, we ask you to take a breath and we tell you to sit and we go through a breathing exercise with you to help you better understand and reset your frame of mind. Because if you go into money feeling stressed and being really having a lot of anxiety around it, then that's going to travel through everything else. It's going to travel through you when you go to the store or when you do other things. So we try to start resetting it. The entire site is built on color theory, so it feels different. So when you log in, it's very uplifting. It doesn't feel like this is going to be boring. And so once you're there, and once we take you through those breathing exercises, it actually resets your brain to then say, okay, now that we've done this, now where are we at? Okay, how are you doing on your goals? Did you miss a step? Okay, well, or you only saved $5. We don't say, oh, well, you didn't do it. We say, that's a really great job. You did really well for doing this because this is something that's new to you and we want to encourage you along the way.
That's
and
fabulous. So positive reaction instead of negativity, right?
Exactly. It's all about positive reinforcement and celebrating those small wins so that you can create bigger wins. And understanding and, again, helping them learn along the way, right? Like this is what saving that $5 means for your retirement. this is how important compounding interest is, and this is why you should be saving for retirement and what it is. So it's the learning concepts as well as the deeper understanding of your relationship with money, your behaviors around it, and your emotions with it.
Okay, now Groove is going to be available via Zoom on my platform, StreamYard, right?
Yes, you can go to groovemoney.org and log in there, and you can see everything there.
Okay, groovemoney.org. Correct? GrooveMoney.org.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, I'm going to have a sticky. You created this, right?
Yes, I did.
Good on you. Well, pats on the back where it's well deserved. A very clever concept. I wish you all the best blessings one can give you with this, okay?
Well, thank you so much, Mark. I really appreciate that.
Singleton Foundation, that's a nonprofit?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, and they've given us the opportunity to build this out because they really wanted to make change, and it's just been so wonderful to be able to build it.
Well, darn good idea. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's Jessica Patel. She is the head of learning resources for the Singleton Foundation for Financial Literacy and Entrepreneurship, and the creator of that brilliant new tool, Groove. And it's going to be available. In fact, just go to groovemoney.org, okay? groovemoney.org. And you can read all about it with your cup of joe and your podgies, PJs, whatever. Hey, Jessica, pleasure speaking with you.
Pleasure speaking with you, Mark. Thank you so much for having me.
You're most welcome. Have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye.